position. Annie Power at the last race down. Annie Power has gone but in front of the last length. Melanie Lloyd
the first time. They're running up towards the finish, and he's mistaken the winning post. He's mistaken the winning post completely, Roger Lockwood, and Hoyt
out from Archibald. Hardy Eustace defends his title, but Archibald is flattened out in second. Then he's followed up right by. He's beginning to come. He's drifting off the true line. He heads for Alice was coming home. Springs the gun. Gonna win his fourth Betfair chase, and Cordo Star is still the king. Cordo Star wins.
Clip.
Absolutely shithouse. Right, hello. Welcome to another episode of Tailed Off. We are back. This is our first episode of 2026. And for those that haven't watched or listened to this in the past, where have you been? But this is a no-holds-barred podcast that dives headfirst into the wonderfully weird world of horse racing. Back to normal service today. How you doing, boys? Long time no see.
Good to be back.
Not saying Happy New Year on the 29th of January.
No, I was like, please don't.
No,
I've had it all
I think
year
it
at work.
is illegal. So, yeah, I think that's fine.
Dirty.
Good. Right. Well, we'll get into I wouldn't say the agenda because that sounds like a meeting, but let's get into what we're going to cover. So we'll do update on trainers in form. Then now we've had a good, a good year last year, but a good few weeks as well. We'll look at the news. We'll get on to what we said before the festive racing and what actually happened during and after the festive racing. We actually did pretty well. We'll do Steward's inquiry. We're getting to a little bit of a, shall we say, stupid challenge that Duncan's doing for a little fundraiser. Look forward to hearing more about that. And then we're getting to Dublin Racing Festival this weekend. So let's get into trainers in form. So how are we doing now? Finished 2025 with a bang. How have we started 2026?
Well, in the same vein, to be honest. It's been a hell of a year, given that this podcast is pretty much a year old now, and that this was our very first episode, the trainers in form model. Had no idea how it was going to go, and luckily in our first week we landed a 33-1 winner. And since then,
Bosh.
Yeah, we've had only one this year, but basically in that whole year's time, we've had 76 selections. Incredibly, 95.2 points up in that whole year period, which is incredible. So nearly, if you had a tenner on all of our 76 bets, you'd be nearly $1,000 in the profit. So, and actually, the last 6 selections we've had 2 wins and 3 places from. So, I've been more probably sort of targeted with them. I'm not sort of carpet bombing them every day, but as a result, we're hitting the board more often. So strike rate's gone up.
When do we start trademarking this?
Well, this is a system. Honestly, mate,
it's got legs.
Honestly, there's people on Twitter that are like, there's basically like tipster exposers or like tipsters to avoid, basically, and they just offer people out who are like, literally, they've got Telegram groups where people are paying like 20-30 quid a month for shit tips.
Yeah,
like Dan
and
Carter.
They're all in the red, and yet we're for free, nearly 100 quid up. So premium service coming soon.
Get it while it's free. Get it while it's free. We've got to pay the bills at some point.
Electric's about to get turned off.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. Yeah, well, I mean, keep them coming in. I mean, we need to do a bit of a recap on what we said about. It was about a year ago, wasn't it? We started, so we should, maybe dig that out in a couple of weeks. All right, good. Let's get on to the news, shall we? What's going on with Gino, Duncan?
Oh, mate, so Gino, I think this is probably one of the biggest talking points so far the last week, and probably of the entire year, I'd say, like over the course of the last year. Like we always see, like when it comes up to festival time, there's always a hard luck story of 1 or 2 horses that have either had a setback or they get injured and they're not going to make the Cheltenham Festival. But I think this one has come as a bit of a shock to everyone, especially with it being on ITV, was Gino. So he was and he went in trials day at Cheltenham on Saturday in the Unibet hurdle. He was odds-on favourite to beat the New Lion, and he was favourite for the Champion Hurdle as well at the festival in March. I think everyone thought, absolute good thing, jumped so well, just travel over everything, no problems. I mean, it started off absolutely fine, no issues. It was quite a tactical start to the race. It was pretty slowly run, but there was no signs of any issues. And I think it was coming over the 3rd or 4th from the end. So Gino just pulled up. I mean, you could see his action went off. His back leg just seemed to go, and I think everyone feared the absolute worst, that it could have been a broken leg or he'd broken down. You weren't sure what was going on, and the race was eventually won. I mean, Nico pulled him up immediately, straight afterwards. And the race was eventually won by the New Lion. And as I think it was Alice Plunkett was interviewing Harry Skelton afterwards, he said, obviously, they were talking about Sir Gino, and he said, the other jockeys that were there were all kind of like looking around saying, where's Nico and where's Sir Gino gone? Because they were just waiting for him to either breeze past or, put in his challenge. So there was a lot of commotion about what was going on, and it turned out he walked into the horse ambulance just after the race, which is obviously great news, but never out the woods. But as it turns out, he looks like he's got a fractured pelvis. So it's not.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, you say it's actually, thankfully, he's only got a broken pelvis. I mean, it could have been, so many of these kinds of injuries, broken leg, anything like that. It's, that's life ending for him. But he can come back at least. I very much doubt he'll ever race again after a fractured pelvis, but you never know. But yeah, I mean, it all looks like he will be back over to Nicky's yard next week from the vets, and they'll obviously take the best care of him possible.
Yeah.
Just kind of nurse him back and see what happens from there. But yeah, horrendous story that the favourite for the champion hurdle's out even before we've dropped it. So yeah, gutting. It's thrown the champion hurdle market all over.
It's always the balance of risk, isn't it, of getting your horse fit and racing, and then potentially something happening. So yeah, just shows how it can be very quickly turned on a bit of a U-turn. So yeah.
You see, like, obviously everyone takes the piss out of Nicky a bit for being like wrapping his horses in cotton wool, but I bet he's probably turning around and going, now see, this is exactly why I do what I do.
Now you see why. Yeah, exactly.
Thing is, though, it's mad, isn't it? Like, you think the start of the season, we lost State Man very early on. And then Constitution
Donnelly's as well. Same owners.
Yeah, well, exactly. And then, Constitution Hill and New Line fell in the same race, that mad race.
Yeah.
Then Sir Gino was like, who nearly died once before, unfortunately, came back from fences to be substituted back into the champion hurdle picture. And then he is now injured. And, you've got two mares run at the weekend, and like, we don't even know if they're going to turn up. It's kind of, if you got any sort of horse at this rate, might as well enter it.
Yeah, it's going to say. Held together blue tack in super glue.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, fingers crossed for Sir Gino. I guess mainly the health is all right, and then who knows, racing in the future.
Yeah, we see how it goes. So fingers crossed, get well soon.
Get well soon. So, Dan Skelton.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we were trying to reflect on the last couple of weeks of racing, and there's only kind of one man this side of the RSC that you can talk about, and that's Dan Skelton. And we've basically been talking about him all jump season, and he is just going from strength to strength, and he is kind of taken all before him. And I'm sort of holding my breath to almost say, like, surely he wins the championship now. But I feel like this could be quick.
He can't lose it. He can't
on my face. But
can't.
I've got a little graphic here, which I have robbed from the Racing Post, so credit to them. But it really puts it into sort of, clear terms how much further ahead he is this year than he was last year. So that table is over the last sort of 10 years, after the last weekend at Cheltenham, kind of who was in front of the UK Championships and what their prize money to date was. And you can see last year he was already in a good position, just over 2 million, and that was pretty much the most that's ever happened. This year he's like 1 million in front of that. So, he won obviously a couple of big races over the weekend. I mean, his strike rate is insane at the minute. He's running nearly 100 horses in 2 weeks, and like 25-26% of them are winning. And what's unusual for me is that, like, when Nichols was dominating the championship, he would have a slowish October, then November, December, bang, bang, Christmas would be good. Then January and February were quieter, then March, April. So he kind of like raised them up and down the levels of sort of peak fitness. Kelvin's he hasn't stopped as far as I can see.
He's been very consistent.
Oh, my bear.
Very consistent.
So, I mean, for me, the record prize money ever in the UK Championship was Nichols 3 years ago in 23, and that was 3.6 million. And Skelton's already on 3 million. And, we've only just
demolish it.
Surely he's going to win it and break the record, which would be incredible. But if Willie has the first 10 in the National, who knows?
Well, he turns up with 50 horses as well, and then
But he can't. Surely he can't lose.
He can.
It can.
I can't see it. I can't see 3 million quid already, like you say. But it's just that, like everyone said, like, he's become so targeted at what horses he's putting away. He just knows. He's already got it mapped out as to what horse is going to go where, and have them absolutely race fit for him.
Protect a rat.
Protect a rat. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens then, shall we, at the festival? Because I think that would probably be the point it would be decided, if it's not already.
What are his best chances, do we think, at the festival? I know we're kind of going ahead of talking about it. Obviously, New Line, potentially, the champion hurdle. I mean, wouldn't necessarily say he's a sure thing by any stretch, but he'll get some decent prize money from that.
Well, he had that.
But it's the
He
handicap
had that
surely we'll be
Triumph
looking at.
hurdle horse one on Saturday, didn't it? The Maestro Conti. That one nicely.
Yeah, My Daddy Paddy would be the other one, the
Paddy
Supreme.
in the Supreme.
It'd be targeting handicaps,
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, Let It Rain for the county hurdle. That's the one, lads.
Yeah. There you go. There's a preview already.
Yeah, there we go. Good. Yeah. Well, it's pretty. Yeah, we'll post that image up. Yeah, interesting. All right. Shall we do a little review of how we got on at the festive racing? So for those that missed it, there's no point in going back because the races are finished, but you missed it. But we did a little bit of a preview coming up to Christmas, and there's a lot of racing over Christmas. And I thought it'd be good just to do a bit of a recap around what we said and actually what happened. Turns out, boys, you're pretty good at this. And the newbie nap, well, I say, it performed pretty well. So I'll do a quick run through, shall I? So we had Leopardstown on the 26th. So in the novice chase. So Elle, you said Romeo Coolio. So did Duncan, but you also said July Flower, and they came in first and third. So well done for Romeo Coolio there. Wins all round. Did you guys watch
point
it?
out as well that I was called out by Elle on our WhatsApp group of saying that I backed half the field. I was like, not quite sure that I did.
I mean,
This table is telling me, mate.
it does say that you backed quite a lot.
Madsborough and Marine National in the Grade 1. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I said
One
I
of us
couldn't
gonna
not
get it.
back. I couldn't not back Marsborough because he was an each way prize. And Marine National. I mean, fuck me, how did he not win? Like, I mean, he did everything but, and he came off the bloody horse, poor Jock.
Well, yeah, but it turns out neither of them won. The Solness came through. So.
Bastards.
Was my personal highlight there.
Oh yeah, so Kempton,
100%.
2:30, King George. Who comes? So you said Gaelic Warrior and Banbridge, and then Duncan had Gaelic Warrior. Oh, you had the same and Banbridge. And then here comes the newbie nap jukebox man running.
We actually
nowhere.
had the TriCast.
Finished well.
We had the TriCast landed.
Did you? Bosh. There we go.
Not that I didn't think he would. Well, did I think he was good enough to beat Gaelic Warrior and Banbridge? No, I didn't. But
Well, he was.
brilliant horse, unbelievable.
You're welcome. But then we had Chepstow, so we had the Welsh National, which you pretty much did back half the field. But we had a big
three.
win from you, Duncan. So you said 80. Is it Couleurs?
80 colour.
France.
Yeah.
And hacked up number one.
Yeah.
Fair play, mate. That's good. How many starters is in that? There must have been a few starters in
It
that.
was 20 odd starters.
Yeah,
was there?
nice.
But I was panic stricken
impressive.
towards the end because I thought Sean had gone too early, but he seemed to pick up towards the end. So there was nearly Pooh River, but thankfully not.
I don't think our listeners are going to get that reference. That's great.
Well, yeah. If you don't get it, it's your own fault.
I mean, I think
then
we
we
had
had-
the idea of Pooh and River. So
Then we had Leopardstown, Christmas
speak of
Hurdle,
Tia Pooh,
Tia Poo.
Tia Pooh River.
You both got the win there.
That was Nap. We called that, and
Sounded
he wasn't
pretty
favourite
comfortable.
either.
Yeah, sounded pretty comfortable. I didn't watch it.
Ballyburn
but-
was the favourite when we were tipping anyway.
Yeah. And then lastly, old GDC. What happened there?
Gutting.
What happened there in the Savills Chase?
We'll get it back Saturday, lads. We'll get it back Saturday.
Well, that's the thing. He wasn't fully fit. Like, he's what, 10? Is he 10? 9, 10?
Yeah. He was 9 then, but he's 10 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 10 now.
We've been through this.
Change of the year.
January the 1st. All the
He was nearly
birthdays.
10. He was nigh on 10. It was first run of the season, and he's obviously got the Gold Cup in mind for him. He was just unlucky. I think he was just slightly just not fully fit.
Yeah, it's a
But
shame.
would you have ever picked Affordal Fury?
No, but
Yes.
after time I can see it, but not before time, unfortunately.
Do you
Yeah.
ever go back Do you ever go
Great one,
back?
I know.
when you like have a horse like that comes out of nowhere, like the newbie nap or like that one? Do you ever go back and say why that happened and then go through the form and do like the post-mortem?
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying when that happened, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I went through it and I was like, all right,
right.
okay. I dismissed it,
Yeah.
but I probably didn't give it enough credit for what it's achieved. So, but there are some times where like Lord Windermere wins a Gold Cup and you think, what the fuck has happened there? And you can't explain it.
There are no words.
But yeah, I always try
Yeah.
to then learn something from not picking the right one.
One that I did take from that Savills Chase, though, is Iron Maximus. And I took 33s
Mm.
for the Gold Cup on Iron Maximus. So I think
You
because
heard it first.
he was unbelievable. I never expected him to be close. at this at all. You were thinking that his other JP horse was going to be right up there, the favourite for the Gold Cup, and he was absolutely shat. I know the way you think. I like the way you think. Or I know the way you're thinking.
I know the way you think, isn't it?
Yeah.
He has run in
nice.
he's run the last 2 Gold
Top
Cups,
shit.
hasn't he? Oh no, he missed last year. He ran in the one.
No, he missed last year's, but I think 33 to
Actually, no,
1.
he hasn't.
I don't think I think he's 25s now potentially.
Yeah,
Really?
we might as well go
think
for
so.
it
Well,
because
why
there's no
not?
need to try and protect his handicap mark.
100 exactly, and I think he did so well in the saddles. I was just like, see how he does this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Why not? Good. All right. Well done, boys. It was also an eye opener for me,
Well done
just
to you,
in terms of the racing. Like, there's so much
Oh, it's the
racing,
best time. Oh, yeah.
and I can. This is where you need like the multi-screen sort of. I bet you
Proper
boys
IT
had fun.
setup, 6 screens all
Yeah.
over the gaff.
Yeah, exactly.
We had the blues on the iPad
Right.
as well for good measure.
Yeah, sure. I guess why not? Right. Let's get on to Steward's inquiry. We'll do your fundraiser, and then we'll look ahead for the Dublin Racing Festival, shall we? So, what the hell is going on at Cheltenham?
You've got to post these pictures because there's just like picture tells 1,000 words. I mean, I was actually at Cheltenham with the old man on Saturday, so I can sort of talk through a punter's.
So you saw this happening
Well, I
live?
didn't see this happening. It was only afterwards in the car back home. I was on, oh, the race is delayed. Time for another pint. I saw on X later that this photo was doing the rounds, which obviously was from the racing TV pictures. And I think what was one thing I'll call out is what was really frustrating. So the last race, we saw them, you were kind of getting your bets on. You maybe 5 minutes before the race will get to the stand. You can see on the big screen, they're going around the parade ring. And then it started to get like a few minutes before. And I said to Dad, I was like, have they even come out yet? And then it ticked past post time. I hadn't seen any horses, weren't sure what was happening. And then it took them so long to just put up a message on the screen saying, there will be a delay to our last race. And I was thinking, well, it's gloomy as it is. It's not like a sunny day and it's winter. So they haven't got a lot of sunlight to play with. But there was a precious little information for those of us on the course. Obviously, if you were watching on TV, like with this picture here,
You probably knew what
you
was
can
going
see
on,
that the clerk of the bold-headed figure bending over, that's John Pullen, who's the newish clerk of the course at Cheltenham. He's standing over one of his, I guess, ground staff, who's got what looks like the full length of his arm into the ground, which is the racing line the horse is about to race over, is not the thing you want to be seeing, a few minutes before a race is about to kick off.
It's a soft, you say?
Yeah, it's a soft, wholly inflated.
Good to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Yeah.
Charlie Reese up there will sort it out.
I was going to say, shout out to Charlie Reese. I bet he's
Yeah,
watching
I bet.
having a right there.
What's your going sick read in there,
Yeah.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Gone stick, more like.
Yeah.
It's disappeared. Never going. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. And then eventually, so me and the old man were right down the newsstand, and we put a bet on, if you've ever been to Cheltenham, the bookies are so far up the hill the other way. We said this race isn't happening because it had gone past sort of 10, 15 minutes. It's getting darker. We said, we've got 20,000 people in the stands here who are going to be getting their money back if this race is called off. So I said, let's get right to the bookie and be first in the queue. And we just stood by the bookie, and he was sort of passing on bits of information saying that they think they're sort of bad with the ground. And then basically I could see like a team of jockeys and trainers come out onto the course. And so I've got my bins and I'm literally sort of looking through to see what's happening. I can see Ben Pauling, like basically where this hole is, jumping up and down, like, 'cause he's got a big figure. And I was like, is this the sort of modern day
That's safe.
health and safety check?
Scientific.
Just like do a trampoline jump on the ground.
Should
And if
be
I
all right.
don't fall through it, it's safe.
Then Paulin just disappears into the earth.
He also doesn't weigh the weight of a horse.
So honestly, it was a bit of a farce because got no information on the course. Then they took forever to make a decision. Then eventually they doled off this supposed bit of background. Then the trainers and jockeys were like, no, that's not quite right because of the racing line. So they moved it again. All the while, it's almost pitch black. I was struggling to see on the course. And then eventually they said the race is going to go ahead, like full half an hour after it had supposed to have happened. It was supposed to happen at 4:10. And it was about 4 or 5 minutes after like the official sunset for the day. And yet they still raced it. And the second picture I've got here, says everything, which is this is the official photograph. And I bet they were
Crazy.
praying.
Binoculars
I bet they
for
were
that.
praying there wasn't going to be a close photo finish needed. And sure enough, the judge had to flip. And the horse nearest to us, as we were looking at it, that's the horse me and Dave were on. And I'll be damned if you can tell which horse has won that race from that picture.
Well, the only thing I'm looking at is there's a slight white bit just at the horse at the top. and I'm guessing that's the nose. But the rest, you can't even see anything.
If you really zoom in on the picture, it looks to me like the one on this side's won it. But I mean, how could you?
That sums up the technology they have available to them, though, because just surely there's a filter you put on, which is
make it as light as possible.
Just get a laser going across the track, and as soon as the first one hits it, you're like, well, I know what's won now then. So I bet you they've had to draw, sketch in the white of where they think the horse's face ends, and they've just elongated it. Like, there it is, that'll do.
So yeah, undoubtedly.
Anyway, did you get the win or not?
That was an absolute shit show.
Did you get the?
Well, I did back the winner and the second.
Here we go. Thanks off the field.
It doesn't matter then, does it?
If you back them all, mate, you're going to get the field.
Sorry, I'll just put my violin down if you back the first two.
Me and Dad had cash bets on the one that finished second, but I did have a little fiver each way on the outsider that won it. So.
Oh yeah, the old cheeky one that he doesn't.
And we won the place pot on Saturday, so it was a good day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good Stewards inquiry. I think that's going to be a hard one to beat for a while. Right, before we get onto Dublin Racing Festival, Duncan, you're running a lot of miles over a short amount of time. Why are you doing it? What are you doing?
So you'll probably notice, Exhibit A, I am wearing a very nice gilet from the Injured Jockeys Fund. So shout out to Paul Taplin, who sent this to me as part of the IJF, which is wonderful. So I think it was after we'd had Ed Chamberlain and co on, and when I'd done some research into, Ed himself, he's vice chairman for the Injured Jockeys Fund. And I just thought, you know what? I've watched this sport for 10 years now, thanks to Elle and Dave. And, I've been lucky enough to go to so many amazing race meets, Cheltenham Festival, Aintree, Sandown, Kempton, Lingfield, a lot of decent places. And I've had so much enjoyment out of all of this that it's only fair that you give something back to racing. And it wouldn't be a thing, racing wouldn't be a thing if we didn't have male and female jockeys getting up every day, going out and literally putting their lives on the line, which I don't think is a hard, over the top thing to say. By riding these massive, half-ton animals every day, going and doing something for the Injured Jockeys Fund just seemed like an absolute no-brainer. So, yeah, with Cheltenham Festival obviously only 40 days away now, which is mental. I was thinking the week before the actual festival starts on the Tuesday the 10th, on Thursday the 5th and Friday the 6th of March, I'm going to do a David Goggins challenge, not Mrs. Goggins, as Elle was probably just about to type in from Postman Boat.
I was as well.
We'll post a picture.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you know,
post a picture.
If you know, you know.
Just can't hear Goggins up. Postman Pat reference if anyone hasn't figured it out.
We'll do a like for like of David Goggins versus fucking Mrs. Goggins. There's a bit of a difference. But yeah, so David Goggins came up with this challenge some time back of running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So I love a fitness challenge. So I was like, well, let's put the two together and make it worthwhile. So yeah, I contacted the IJF through Ed Chamberlain, spoke to Paul, who sorted me out with some running gear. And yeah, I've set up a GoFundMe page, which is in our Instagram handle, and I'll be posting it all out all over social media. But yeah, raising money towards the IJF to help them, and I'll post up we can post up a photo on the pod, but just some jockey stats, which I don't know if you've seen them, but it's quite insane. Just how much when you look at the jumps jockeys and flat jockeys, like
crazy.
How many 83 is it 16? There's a jump jockey average rides per 4 of 16. So you're literally talking if they're riding, 5 a day, every 3 or 4 days, they're going to be having a fall.
Yeah.
And then
one injury every 83.
83 rides exactly is ridiculous. So you're almost thinking one every kind of couple of weeks, potentially every month. There's a potential injury there. And you've seen them so many recently, on the flat as well, just the horrific injuries. And they obviously need as much support as possible to get them back doing what they love and enjoy. So, they don't get paid a shed load of money and based on their average salaries. And that obviously doesn't take into account winnings and things. But yeah, giving something back to them, I think, is just very important for, what we stand for is tailed off. And yeah, it's just nice to do something and give something back to them ahead of the festival.
Yeah.
Here, mate. Yeah, well, and I guess follow us on social media, and you'll see. I guess follow your journey in getting ready for that. You've had loads of sponsors already. We'll put a link in, shall we, to get sponsorship if those are interested.
Exactly.
It's a good cause. So,
All the
Yeah.
donations have been well received, and thank you very much for all those that have. So it's been sent out in and around. It's now becoming the realization of Jesus Christ, I've actually got to do this.
Yeah, when someone puts money down, you actually got to
Yeah,
do
exactly. Panic stations is actually kind of going in now. The fact that it's like, Jesus, I've got to do this. But yeah, looking forward to it, and it's for such a worthwhile cause. Yeah,
Yeah,
looking forward to
agreed.
it.
Yeah, well, mate, great idea. Well, good luck. Like I say, I'll be there. I'll do a couple of miles with you in the daylight before I go
lads,
back
yeah.
and tuck up in bed while you're still running.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
No
I
worries,
might just call you at 4 a.m. or something like that. Just be like,
I
come on,
need you.
wake you
Need
up.
you.
Where are you?
Right, let's finish on Dublin Racing Festival then, shall we? So for those who don't know, one of the biggest national hunt jump races in, well, I say in the UK, in Ireland, in Europe. It's a big one.
Outside of the
In the
festival,
world,
I'd
it's
say, probably.
around the world. There you go. Leopardstown, and it's obviously part of the big run up into Cheltenham as well in March. So there's some key races that we obviously want to have a look
Do you want
at.
a little,
Key runners that we want to.
Trivia before you
Yeah.
go.
Go on then.
No, here we go.
And this is probably one more for
Full on
Duncan to
trivia.
answer, but be my guest. Last year, this meeting produced 7 winners at the Cheltenham Festival. Only 2 of them actually won at the meeting and then won at Cheltenham. Can you name?
And you're going to ask what too?
One Gallop into Sean would have been one of them.
No, didn't win at Cheltenham.
Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't.
That's a
win
good
at
start.
Cheltenham. And that's a good start. Yeah, edit that one
What's
out.
that one? Who is that one that you backed? That no one else did? Ace something Ace?
No, Golden Ace. No.
Golden
didn't
Ace.
run this meeting.
No.
Didn't run in it.
Can you give me the day that they won on?
Well, one of them
At
at
Cheltenham?
Cheltenham, one of them is very obvious, and it's the first day.
Champion Hurdle. No, it wouldn't have been that 'cause that was Golden Ace. Who won Supreme Novice? Is it Supreme Novice? Perfect
There we
board. Lovely. Phew. Got one. And what was the second one then?
It's just slipped my mind, actually. That's good, isn't it?
Shit, come back to me.
Bear with us.
Oh, the
What
line
sort
at the
of fucking
back of it.
quizmaster are you?
I was listening to a podcast earlier. I thought that'd be a good question for later. Should have written it down. I think it was a mare,
okay.
but for some reason, I'm not sure who it was now.
I was going to say write into us and let us know.
Wouldn't have been Factor File, would it?
Could have been. Was it?
Or Bambino Fever. would be the other
Bambino
one I was
Fever,
thinking of.
that's it. Pardon, mate.
Oh, there you go. I'm the
Well
new
done, Duncan.
I thought it
quizmaster.
was a
Get
mare.
it.
Well
Well
done,
done.
Duncan.
Phew, we got that
Get
out
on,
of one.
Raise the questions.
Just about.
Yeah.
Jesus. Absolute poo river there.
More questions next week.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for some trivia that we don't know the answer to.
I don't know, Jeff. That's that.
That was so good.
Cut that out.
Definitely not. Leave it in.
Probably not.
Right, I guess we should continue. The people probably turned off now. Doesn't know what he's on about. Let's get on to the Paddy Power Irish Gold Cup, shall we? So, 13 runners in this one. What are you guys saying? Is it the obvious?
Well, I'll let Duncan go with the obvious because he's written very little. So he could just,
Yeah, I was going to say,
he could just nick my writing.
you can tell I was literally flying by the seat of my pants to get this one written up, can't you?
Yeah, God.
Yeah, no, I mean, as we said just now, like over Christmas when Galopan became a very unlucky third, I just feel like, because that was his first run of the season, he's obviously been tuned up straight for Gold Cup at Cheltenham, but you got to think he's got to have a great chance again of doing this now. He'll be far fitter for his run over Christmas. I just think he wins. I think Affordel Fury is obviously opposing again, but with a fit Galopin Deschamps, I expect Galopin Deschamps to win this. So yeah, Galopin Deschamps, and it's not an odds on price like he would have been last year. So yeah, Galopin
Yeah.
for me.
Just wins. Anything else to add on
Just
there?
wins.
No,
Galopin?
Cherries galore.
Just
5
air
cherries.
of caution when a horses get to 10 in grade ones, you start to just be a bit cautious. But this is one of the best we've ever seen, and he will make history on Saturday if he does win this.
History.
This is one factoid I have got correct. He will join Florida Pearl, also trained by Willie Mullins, to be the only other horse to win 4 of these races, but he will be the first ever to win 4 in a row. So that would be some serious history. He obviously loves Leopardstown. The ground, I don't know if you saw pictures of the course in the last couple of days, but it was literally underwater. So
Yeah, it's like Worcester.
yeah, it was.
It's Worcester on a good day.
It's safe to say it's nice and soft for him. It was a bit quick at Christmas. So I think everything's in his favour. And to be honest, like flicking through some of the others, Gaelic Warrior hates Leopardstown. Fact File bombed out in the King George. Does he really stay this sort of trip?
Anyway, doesn't stay.
Affordel Fury, I think, is probably overpriced because he won, no excuses. He won fair enough. But that was his 4th run of the season. I think that could start to take its toll. I mean, I know the way you're thinking. He is starting to drift a bit, but he should be double the price.
Couldn't back
Even
him.
if he was treble the price, I wouldn't bet on him. And interestingly,
No.
Walsh has jumped off him, the Gold Cup winner, to ride Factifile. So making the most of his time in the job while he still has it. And, Jack Kennedy is on Iron Maximus, Duncan. If that interests you a little bit, he is 14-1.
That does interest me.
But
Tell me more.
that's my quick thoughts on the others. But there was one I thought if I could find a little sneak, and it's very unlike Willie Mullins to run a mare in a gelt, like an open Grade 1. He's very good at obviously keeping those sorts of horses to their own divisions, and he has lots of mares and tends to win a lot of mares races. But there's this horse Spindleberry that has just taken off since it's sort of gone chasing and actually won 5 from 5 and has already won an open Grade 1 as a novice over fences, beat Firefox, which is not terrible form. It's just been going from strength to strength. I think more it's the owner kind of convincing Willie to go for it than it is Willie's own sort of design, because as I just say, he just doesn't do this sort of thing, to be honest. And she would be surely a gift in the Mare's Chase if she ran for it. But they want to go for the Gold Cup. You know, her best RPR of 160, you get a £7 allowance as a mare in a Grade 1 like this. So that puts her on 167. That isn't a mile away from where you need to be around the 170 figure. So I just thought 10-1. No thanks to Dave because he wouldn't get on for me, but thank you to Mr. Sullivan, our loyal listener. He got a bit of tens.
He wouldn't get.
He got a bit of tens for me at Laddies, and I think by the time this goes out, that'll be gone. So yeah, that's a nice little each way sneak in the Gold Cup on Saturday.
Yeah, nice. We love an outsider each way. They're always the ones that El has after the race is finished. It's like,
Yeah.
Yep.
He's backed off the field.
It's what he does. It's what he does. All right, let's get on to Sunday then. Let's start with you, El, again. So let's do Dublin Chase, shall we? That's a 2:10.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously caveat dealing without declarations here, and I'm sort of playing a bit of poker, if you like, with the potential non-declaration of one of the main horses. I mean, I've not actually read Duncan's comments. If he tips up Masborough again, then I think he needs his head checking, because I don't know how anybody can make this horse 11-8 base.
I'd say I'd have my fingers burnt on that. Yeah. I'd say I'd have my whole arms and limbs burnt on that.
I don't understand how this.
I bet he wins.
I don't understand how it can be favourite. I don't understand how it can be favourite. Marie Nationale is 2-1 at the minute, and the only reason why I think he's 2-1 is because Barry Connell is a fucking shithouse. He dodged his first start of the season.
Flip that up
again. Or don't, because he'll probably track me down and sue me or something
and kill you. It's not taken, mate.
He's so petty. I can see, honestly, he basically thinks every other horse apart from his horse is shit. He slagged off John Bond many times, which I take personally. And anyway, I do love Marie Nationale, and I think he is way overpriced at 2-1. What I'm sort of thinking, with all the rain that they've had at the course, it's given him a little perfect excuse to not declare Marie Nationale. And therefore, William Hill are sticking their chins out and saying that he will be declared, and are offering 7-2 about Solness. And Solness has been to Leopardstown on his last the last three times he went to Leopardstown. He won Grade 1s each time, including this race last year. And he's been much more lightly campaigned this time around, now that they sort of know he's a good horse. He obviously won the equivalent race at Christmas. Okay, as Duncan said, Marie Nationale almost went into the car park temporarily before coming back on the track.
Did he ever?
I don't know how it carried on, that horse. So, if they all declared, I probably would say Marie Nationale was likely the winner. But given that the ground's going to be a bit soft, and if Barry pulls a horse out, that 7-2 is not going to last very long. So we'll take a chance on Solness to do the double.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair. And you're going, Duncan?
I mean, as El said, I think he's pretty much covered it. But Marie Nationale, if he goes 2-1, he has drifted from evens to 2-1. So it kind of tells you, based on what Big Baz had said, that he's got concerns over the ground. But I'm pretty sure they said at Leopardstown yesterday on social media that the ground on the chase course was like soft. So he's won on soft ground. So
yeah, it's drying all the time. So yeah,
I don't understand why he wouldn't run him. But again, really depends on how much money you'd want to put on the horse. In all honesty, 2-1, you can have a large bet in the hope that he does run. But, the safest bet is Solness, as El said, because the horse is going to go for sure. You're guaranteed you're going to get a runner. Whether Marie Nationale, you don't. So yeah, Solness at 7-2 is definitely a safer bet.
Yeah. All right, good. And then we'll finish on the Windows Irish Champion Hurdle, shall we? Another Grade 1. Timeless Sash Windows. Are these sponsors, honestly? Timeless. Such
Yeah, one you
days.
get one free.
I was
Look at that,
I was
one, you get
watching
one
the
free.
because this didn't have a sponsor previously, and I was watching the Sport Life
Oh, yeah,
podcast,
you
and
put
they
your hand up.
flagged that this was now. I just find it mad that a window company like that could sponsor a Grade 1, such a prestigious race. But these are the times we live in.
Someone that's dealing under the table, aren't they?
Oh, it'll be tailed off next.
Yeah, I
I've
can't
got
see
no
any
money
comments
to
on-
reduce
I
us.
can't see any comments for Duncan, so I'll dive in. And to be honest, this is probably a race that you just sort of sit back and enjoy watching. We haven't got the declarations at the minute. It looks like a fascinating race. The two mares at the top, as we've kind of talked about the last couple of seasons, Lossiemouth and Brighter Days Ahead, have butted heads a few times, and Lossiemouth got the better of Brighter Days Ahead at Christmas, but that was Brighter Days Ahead first start of the season, and she was staying on all the way up to the line. And for those that don't know, at Leopardstown, particularly on the hurdles course, they have kind of like an inner, much tighter course, a bit like, not quite as extreme difference, but Cheltenham having the old course and the new course. And for this meeting at Dublin Race Festival, they run on a much sort of wider, more galloping track, so it plays much more emphasis on stamina, and the ground being much softer on the hurdles course than it will be on the chase course. I think those factors swing it more into Brighter Days Ahead's favour, and I know she's let a few people down a few times, particularly at the end of last season, but she destroyed them in the December hurdle last season at Christmas, like one of the most taken performances you've ever seen from a 2-miler, and I reckon that just left her season there, and they've given her a lot of time off, and it was a lovely reappearance. Gordon thinks she's as good as ever. I just think 15-8 probably is a bit harsh, so I've actually done the Brighter Days Ahead soul on a stubble, and hoping to cop a good day
Ooh,
on
here we go.
Sunday. And
Dirty bastard.
Lossie's obviously a superstar. We love her, but I just think the prices maybe Brighter Days Ahead could get one over her this time.
Nice.
Duncan doesn't agree. Justin,
He don't agree. He doesn't agree. He doesn't agree. Don't see your comments in there, mate.
It is literally like
Toss a coin, isn't it?
it is. It literally is a toss of coin. Like, on the prices, definitely you potentially side with Brighter Days Ahead. But the fact that Lossiemouth is not odds on, I think is a bet. I just think she is unbelievable. And I just wonder, and I know, the trainer says, Brighter Days Ahead, and Gordon Elliott reckons she's great. But after Cheltenham, where she was so disappointing last year, and then, Punchestown again, not particularly great. Second on reappearance, obviously, to Lossiemouth, which is, and only one length down. I'd still prefer probably Lossiemouth out of the two. If you had to put a gun to my head, I'd say Lossiemouth.
Lossiemouth and Duncan. All right. Well, let's see. Thanks, boys. Let's see what happens on Saturday and Sunday then. Looking forward to it. We'll do a bit of a review, shall we? As we did, it's nice to do a bit of a recap on what you guys said and actually what happens. So yeah, that's a wrap then. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. And yeah, we hope you like the podcast. Give us a subscribe, a like, so you don't miss an episode. Follow us on social media, and obviously follow us for any sort of tips and everything. But also Duncan and his challenge over the next few weeks. Certainly be watching along. Drop us your comments, and then you can catch us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and obviously all the socials. Till then, have fun out there, race hard, race smart, and try not to be tailed off. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Position. Any power at the last race down. Any power of Dublin in front of the last lens. Melody Light.
Right by the far side, they're running up towards the finish, and he's mistaken the winning post. He's mistaken the winning post completely, Roger Lockwood, and high fly.
From Archibald, Hardy Eustace defends his title. From Archibald, he's flattened out his second. Then he's followed up right by, he's beginning to come. He's drifting off a true line. He heads for, and this was coming home. Stewards are going to win his fourth Betfair Chase.